Mikel Arteta has had all his charges dropped against him. Probably the only battle against referees he'll win. He has had all charges dropped and won't face any further action in the aftermath of the Newcastle game, as I'm sure you've all seen from the last 24 hours. Allegedly, there was a 37-page document put up against him, people. Joe Willock actually told everybody that the ball went out, people. He was told by certain players that Willock, a former Arsenal player, had expressed a view that the ball had gone out before crossing into the penalty box. He also got out of hot water, allegedly, people, for his term of calling the referee a disgrace. And whoever the lawyer is, I don't know where they got him, what sitcom it's from. We got out of that because it translates allegedly that Arteta meant disgracia. So I'm happy that he got out of that. A bit of creativity there. Young Fug needs to whatever, whatever defense lawyer that the Arsenal and Mikel Arteta have used. Apparently, Arsenal released a statement on their website following this, and I'm happy. What things done in the dark comes to light. Mikel Arteta didn't deserve any of those chances, and it's Vamos indeed, folks.
This could go really badly. Yeah, I mean, look, as to say, in real time, I've not really spoken about this, in real time on Saturday, as I was looking from, obviously we're a million miles away up in the gantry, and you're looking at it, you do see that sort of clear gap between the line and the ball, and what we've done here is just place a ball, and what I've done is I've put it basically into a position whereby that ball is in. That ball, the edge of the yellow football that we see there, that we use obviously now coming into the winter, is just touching the edge of the white line. So that ball is actually in. So when you see that from here, you think, right, it's not even a debate. But when we actually cut to the different angles that obviously VAR had to look at, and that's the angle that the VAR camera was looking at on Saturday night at that game. And what we're not trying to say here, the ball is in or the ball is out. What we're trying to say is that VAR cannot make a decision to overturn the on-field decision, because it's really clear that there's ambiguity. It's an optical illusion. That ball is clearly in. But as we switch to that other angle that the VAR had to look at on Saturday, that's our overhead camera that we don't have the benefit of having over the ball when it went out on Saturday. That's the angle that the VAR official was looking at. And I can understand completely why they couldn't overrule the on-field decision based on that point one.
Well, because it's embarrassing what happened and how this goal stands in the Premier League, in the best league that we say is the best league in the world. We really have to think about it deeply, because I've been 20 years in this country and now I feel ashamed. It's an absolute disgrace. You look it on the TV, it's an absolute disgrace, and it's too much at stake. We are trying to do incredible things to be at the highest level every single week. When we are not good enough, I'm the first one to put my hand up and say it's my fault, my responsibility. This is unacceptable. I don't want to be in people's hands if that's the outcome. For sure it's not. It's too difficult.
Is it the process that's at fault, or the people in charge of the process?
It's the outcome. The outcome is nowhere near the level that this league needs to have. And the way this league is getting competed every and a single day and in every single ball is not good enough. It's just, honestly, I feel embarrassed to be part of this. Embarrassed. This is my word.
I think it's fair to say Mikel Arteta was within his rights for that outburst, which, time after time, Mikel Arteta has steered away from criticizing referees, but that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I hope Gary Neville is waking up today and doing some self-reflection. What a shameless media puppet he is. I'm sure you all see on Twitter all his Manchester United tweets resurfacing, and just about any comment, Gary Neville twerking for the TV houses and whatnot, pretending the ball went out, trying to give us physics lessons and things like that. Just shut your mouth, mate. It's a small win. It's not really a win, but it's a small win. I would just like to see consistent refereeing and right refereeing. Now, away from that, people, Jorrel Hato, people, youngest captain for Ajax, wonder of a left foot, can play centre half as well as left back, 17 years of age, 38 games that he's played for Ajax, been capped once for his country, 26 Eredivisie appearances, people, and he's probably in with a shout of going to the Euros and representing the Netherlands, people. I like him a lot. His mentality, you're clearly not going to captain a massive club like Ajax at 17 years of age if you don't have that. His technical ability, his ability to play as an inverted and traditional fullback, as well as playing centre half. He's 17, so he's young and impressionable. And the last time, literally in the summer before his injury, we shopped in Holland for a fullback. It was amazing. Now, I don't think Ajax are going to let him go anytime soon, but he's a player that I would love Arsenal to sign. I'm sure you've all seen him making inroads this season. As I said, he recently played in the Europa League and captain Ajax in that regards. Comfortable as a centre-half and a left-back. Bring him to the carpet. He also says he wishes to mirror Timber and move one day to a club like us. Big up you lot for tuning in, people. Now, first things first, with Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, I'm happy for the defence case we put forward. I mean, clearly, I ain't snitching on nothing, but Mikel Arteta probably called the ref a disgrace. To see that we've done the young fug thing and said we didn't say disgrace, we said disgracia or something like that, which is Spanish and can be interpreted in different ways. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So shout out to whatever QC represented Arsenal in that. It's a small win in a sense of, obviously, there's probably been decisions, I don't know, but there's probably been decisions that have benefited us. We've obviously been done dirty by VAR, and you hope it balances it out. It's a small win for Mikel Arteta because I don't think there should have been any charges. And, the aftermath of the Newcastle game went beyond Arsenal, Newcastle, and what happened in the game. And it felt like there was a witch hunt for Mikel Arteta. It feels because he manages Arsenal Football Club that he's held to a different standard of other people, in my humble opinion, and other managers, not saying this right or wrong, but can say certain things and not get charged people. But as George Graham used to say, we're Arsenal, we're expected to be hated. It's the in thing to hate us. And I don't even like the language this week by people like Peter Wharton, where they're kind of suggesting that Jurgen Klopp and Arteta could lead a sort of attack against referees, resulting in what you've probably seen in Turkey, where a ref was punched in his face. I don't think Jurgen Klopp or Mikel Arteta want that, but at the end of the day, it's their jobs on the line. There's extreme pressures in management, none more than they put on themselves. You can probably deal with defeat and losing and drawing games, and yes, people make mistakes, referees make mistakes, but they're not held to high standards. I think the way VAR is implemented and the inconsistencies, the same incidents can happen in two games and have two different outcomes. I think, considering the money that is in football, this system is by design and choice rather than coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence with these fat cats that control things like football at the higher levels. And at the same time, if a manager does good or bad, if players do good or bad, even if fans do good or bad, the content creators, you're critiqued or praised accordingly. It feels like referees are allowed to be incompetent. And it's not always the referees, to be fair with you. At one hand, I think the referees are inconsistent, are incompetent, do have conscious and unconscious biases because they're human. To a degree, if they're implementing in the system in the right/wrong way that they're being told to, then the system is broken. So probably need to go back home. It feels like referees, I'm not going to say they're not criticized because the public do, but it feels like it's the only job where you can fail upwards. A referee could mess up in a North London derby, for example, and then rock up in a Champions League final. So yeah, I'm happy for Mikel Arteta. Nice to see that the club have had a small win. Obviously, we know there's more twists and turns, bumps and bruises, and Mikel Arteta will probably have to go in front of the FA committee more often than not. But he's undefeated at Wembley as a player and as a manager, and also in terms of having to go in front of the court system or the football court system. So big him up. In relation to the Ajax lad, obviously the jury's still out. Played 20 odd times in the Eredivisie, hasn't played that many times for Ajax. There's still a lot of raw components in his game, but I like his height. I like his technical qualities. I like his leadership qualities. I like the fact that he could play as a centre half as well as a left back, and I like what he could become. There's obviously resale value. He's young. He's impressionable. And as I said, the last time we shopped in Holland, we done all right over there. So hopefully he can follow Timber and sign for the club, really and truly. I don't think we'll move for him in January. I don't think we'll even move for him in the summer. I think he's one that will be monitored by everybody. I think that he's one that if you're Ajax, you don't necessarily want to move on anytime soon. Why I would love him to sign for Arsenal Football Club. He's making inroads in the Dutch team. He's 17. You don't necessarily have to make the move yet. You can keep playing, develop relatively without the pressure that comes with playing for a Premier League club. Do your thing at Ajax, and sooner rather than later be sold. Like, even if you stay there for 3 years, I don't think you will. You're only 20, or depending on when his birthday falls 21, you've got your best years in front of you. But he's a player I like the look of, and if it was up to me, I'd love to get the move done today, if I'm honest with you. You lot, let me know your thoughts on this Mikel Arteta news. Let me know your thoughts on everything Arsenal. Don't forget to check out the rest of the content. Turn on your notification bells. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Stay blessed. One love.